crazy team that we discovered. Only here at Twitch TV for / Jakazin, insane, the greatest mind of humankind came together and made this amazing team. Now, this cook over here is basically a Liu carry, Liu Talon carry, Qiangliang, please save me kind of team. And you can use this without Flutterpage if you want, with Anan and double down on the ranking condition. But I find, especially P0, the +1 AP is like really good. Like, let's be honest. And the way this team works is that we're gonna use the hiss from Hissabeth as a way to spam talents for the tiger, because the hiss is gonna be generated on the left, so it's gonna be eventually, at least at first, a lot of peace talon, a lot of green. Doesn't matter which attack, as long as it's not balanced, because the balanced attack deals less damage. So either red or blue, doesn't matter. You could eventually have some hisses on the right. You will see. You need this tuning, the unfinished tuning. You need that because you're going to use them to spawn cards of characters that eventually are not gonna have them in the spell dock. For example, Flutterpage AP card, you might not get it, right? And it happens often, unironically. So this is a follow-up attack team, even though we are using like Liang Yue and Hissabeth. The Talon attack, the Scratch of the Tiger, is a FUA, and we're going to enhance it with Flutterpage and Fatutu when it comes to like debuffs and buffs. Now, the +1 AP, if you generate it, is going to be really good because it's going to appear on the left. On the left is where the green zone is, and the green zone of the Tiger gives you +1 duration, which is basically a fake P1 Flutterpage, and that's gonna help us getting like more AP. Now, this will be better, obviously, and it's going to be improved on if you have multiple copies, if you have P1 Flutterpage, or if you have P1 Liang Yue. You can also get more power. It's going to be easier and flow better. But everyone is here is P0. Say what you want to say. Is P0, and let's try it out so you can see how it works. Obviously, the rotation is not set in stone. You can do whatever you want. It's RNG also, can fuck you up. So it depends on how you want to tackle it. There's multiple good choices. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is get Liang Yue ult up, followed by try to rush Hissabeth ult up. Or if we can't rush it for whatever reason, because maybe we have to generate Flutterpage cards or something like that, then what we can do is just get it up whenever we can and try to rush Liang Yue ultimate up again by the time she's ulting. So that way it's almost always up. Now, obviously, if you have P2, Liang Yue is going to spawn with the ult up. Well, not the ult up, but with 5 Moxie and the ult card. But for now, what we can do is just use the buff, for example, here to expand our snake nest and generate hisses. We need to do 2 cards for Liang Yue here, so it's going to be like this. Actually, yeah, there's nothing we can do. Then we can do the kick. This first turn is kind of like a preparation turn. You really want to get a +1 AP here as well. And if there's nothing crazy on the right, you should probably just start eating cards with the tuning as well, so that you have the coins to generate it when you need it. So we can do that. Well, we're not gonna use the hisses, especially without Lee. Generate green talents to get more debuff and more damage and pen rate for the FUA. Yeah, sure. So there is a reason why we're doing the green one, but at the same time, if you have to do the red one, it is what it is. It's still like big damage. Now, we are not using the hisses until the ult is up. So what we're gonna do is, well, that's kind of what I mean. It doesn't matter what we do. We can buff, doesn't matter. And then we get to +1 AP and we move on. Yeah, when you use the P1, if you use this one on the green zone, it's gonna make it last 2 turns. Basically. Now, we have the alt up. We can keep eating cards. Now, eating cards, even though it's good, I don't think you should do it too many times because it could bring all the cards a little bit to the right, which is not what we want. So if you don't absolutely have to because you couldn't generate the needed cards, then don't use it. I would say it's better to not use it and save it for whenever you have to, rather than like keep getting like 99 early as fuck and then you can't generate like it, and all the hisses are on the right. That's gonna be a little bit of a problem. It's still fine, but don't do it on purpose all the time. If you have enough coins, enough like power, I think it's fine. You don't have to do it. Now we do the alt. As you can see, there's a hiss here. It's gonna eventually end up on the right, I feel like, but maybe not this time. We could also do that up P, or maybe we can keep it and do some Hissabeth stuff. We could do that. Also, this is the best time for you to heal if you want to heal, because it's like a kind of like a dead moment. So if you want to heal, you are gonna have some moments when you can actually heal. So it's not just like an unrealistic rotation. You can slot in some heals here and there, and it's actually gonna be like it's possible and it works. So I'm gonna do that just as an example. It doesn't have to be that one. It could be this one as well. Actually, yeah, let's try to do that. Let's do this one, this one. We could also debuff, you know, get some shells on the enemy. And we could do the attack again. I'm not gonna do that though. I'm gonna do try and work towards the Hissabeth ult. So we can do that. Boom.
Oh, be careful. We stand together. It's out of you.
Okay, from now on, if we do the paper plane, we're gonna have 2 turns if we generate it, right?
You are not
Also, remember to buff with Liang Yue before you do the hisses for more follow-ups and more talents as well. Now, there is a hiss very close to right. We could do that if we want to, but otherwise, we're gonna run. We got like kind of a oof generated cards here, but I feel like we can afford doing this.
Please stay behind me.
Yeah, even though you should always try to use cards inside of the zones. Versatile. This is not going to consume any AP as well, so keep that in mind. We could also, we do have still Snake Nest to consume, so the buff would work. And by the way, if you don't have snakes to consume, which is this 3 here, then it will give you Moxie. So it's still a good idea, especially if you're trying to rush the ultimate, to do that. Now, the moment the hisses are inside, you should use them. So that way you remove them from the spell dock and you are moving the zones together. Now it's the only card is here, but it's not that big of a deal. We can we actually do this because we are trying to get the ult up, and this is actually pretty good. And then we get a hiss again. So see how many are we getting? And obviously, ideally, you want to get all green talents or at least majority of green. So be careful whenever you are casting stuff to just make sure that you're not getting like too many like balanced one or too many red ones. Now, the buff, we don't really need to do the buff, and having a level 2 buff that lasts longer, it's like kind of whatever. So I'm gonna debuff instead, but we don't really have to do anything particular. This is just a matter of getting more talents. Now, the way this works is, the way the talons behaves is that like during the gameplay, you see all of this AP cards, right? The way this is gonna work is, even if you overcap the talon, it's going to stop midway, cast the attack, refresh the coin here with 0 talents, and then keep going with the turn order and collect more talents. So technically, you could even do it like twice in one turn. If you manage to get so many hisses that you're casting like 12 cards in one turn. If you are doing that somehow, maybe you're waiting or something, then it is possible. It keeps counting, and when it feels it's going to do the attack and then come back. So, you know, we are doing like 9 cards here, so it's not super impossible. I feel like I never managed to do it, but I feel like it could be a thing. Now, with that, we're generating more hisses later, and then we have the ult. The damage is going to come from Qiangliang, actually. This, and not Hissabeth. Hissabeth is just like a power, like a battery. Now, we have the ultimate. We have 2 more turns for this one and then the other one for Qiangliang. Now, as you can see, we already have some leftover talents. That said, actually 1 turn. That said, it could be good to start getting some more APs for Liang Yue, or you can just go for and try to get more AP for later. But the problem is the rotation is going to be obviously a little more scuffed if you have P0 everybody, right? If you had P1 Liang Yue, it would be 1 more turn left and it will be basically flowing perfectly. Otherwise here, basically what is going to happen here is I'm going to do the ultimate, and on the next turn when I have a lot of hisses, the Qiangliang is going to go away. That is the issue. Qiangliang is going to go away. So here you can just do a little bit and then end it, or you can just start preparing for the next ultimate. Now, problem here, this is where you are starting to use the tuning, because depending on what you want to do, you're going to generate different characters cards. Now, in this case, I don't really want to generate Flutterpage, even though it would be the most brain dead option. I don't want to generate Flutterpage here because the AP is going to help next turn where the ultimate is not going to be up. And I'm going to have a discrepancy between ultimates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate Qiangliang, I wish. I'm going to generate Liang Yue instead and trying to get as much Moxie as I can here before we dump everything. I think it would be the best choice here. However, you can do whatever you feel like it's a good idea. In my case, I feel like this is a good idea. So I'm going to do this. This way we can get some Moxie up, and if you want to use, you can use the hiss, or you can keep it for later. It's still good. You can use it right now if you want, but we are getting enough talents to do 1 more slash, so maybe keep it, you know, maybe keep it.
Please stay behind me.
You can do also, if you didn't have the ultimate, you could use now the buff if without the snakes, and it will give you Moxie. I'm gonna try to keep it. Now she needs 1 more attack, so what I'm gonna do is it doesn't matter much. You don't have to be here anymore because this is completed. So you can just do whatever. You can just do the buff again just for more Moxie, or you could move the cards and do the level 2 buff. It doesn't really matter much. But we could do the double buff actually. Let me do that. We can move this one, and you could do that. But, you know, you don't have to. We can do the buff. And then we can do... Actually, maybe we buff Flutterpage. Because Flutterpage has cards, and I don't want to use her Hissabeth cards before the ultimate to eat Moxie. So maybe we buff... Flutterpage. But what about the talents? The talents are going to be fine. Because we can do this. Last talent. Majority green. And then we don't have to use that card because it's going to explode. We can do anything else that we want. So in this case, debuff, I guess. Get more shit on it.
Oh, look, here's another one. Be careful.
Okay.
Up and at it. My responsibility. Oh, be careful.
No matter what you do, obviously you're going to lose some extra triggers here and there. It doesn't matter. Now we have all of the ults. Qiangliang is gonna go away. We're gonna recast the ultimate, and then we're gonna do the ultimate again with as well with Hissabeth. We're gonna do this. Also, we might want to generate. Actually, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna remove the card here. We're going to generate. Do we want to generate right now? We could wait and generate it after, but we're gonna start with less. It doesn't matter that we start with less AP next turn. So I could wait and generate Flutterpage card once we are in the green to get to +2. That's what I'm gonna do actually. I'm gonna do that. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the ultimate. We get everyone up. There's no snake because the charges are all on the boss. There's no stake to consume, so we don't need to do that necessarily. We could do every ult, technically. What if we do every ultimate? So we could do that as well.
I got this.
Everyone has full Moxie anyway. Now this one is going to retrieve and reapply the... I mean, is he gonna die? No, it's not gonna die, right? Is the boss gonna die? No, right? Whatever, let's do that. Let's remove the cards anyway, so we get more space. He has one more life anyway. Qiangliang, please help.
Higher than a bell tower, and deep in the clouds.
The true Year of the Snake team.
We'll find our home. One day.
Isn't this year the Year of the Snake? Year of the Snake saved by Hissabeth. The real.
You are not welcome here.
Boss is gonna reset his HP, thank God. Okay. Now we really wanna reach that shit if possible, but with all of this, we should be able to. Ooh, that could have been anything, it had to be cringe. It is what it is. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove one card. Now, we could lose some hisses to make space to the buff. And we can generate Fatutu, Flutterpage. We have to generate Flutterpage. I'm gonna generate Flutterpage. This attack has to be cast. We could get some Moxie here. It's not that the worst of the ideas.
Never alone, rarely outnumbered.
Sadly, it's gonna be hard to do the buff. If we want to do the buff before the hisses, we can lose some hisses, but it doesn't really matter that much. So I'm gonna start hissing.
One. Never alone and rarely outnumbered.
Okay.
Our minds are as one.
There's the buff is impossible to get the buff before the hisses. Unless we start with the buff and we lose 1 AP and we end with this attack. We could do that. Let's do that. So we start with this. We have to do something.
Never alone.
Then this, then the buff.
Please stay.
Then all the
Our
hisses.
minds are as one. Never
0
alone
AP.
and rarely outnumbered.
Collecting talons.
Our minds are
I
as one.
fucked up. It is what it is. They moved. It moved. Whatever. It fucking moved. It's fine. We get more hisses for later, I guess. If it moved, then I wasn't looking. God damn it. Yeah. It looks the same.
You are not welcome.
Alright. Well, we'll still get the slash. Ra. See, this team is so powerful that it's hard to test. If the enemy is weak, even if it's not weak to star. Imagine if this boss was mineral. It would already be dead. It would already be dead. Like this you cannot test this team. Okay, it's impossible. So now it's gonna be exploding, obviously. We have the ultimate again. We have one more turn. Also, we have a lot of hisses that we can use. The buff is outside as well, but we have 5 AP for one more turn, as you can see here. Now, we could do the ult again, but it's gonna explode, so I'm not gonna do it now, even though you should. I just want to get as many hisses as possible on the platform. Let's do... Actually, let's summon you. Yeah, but the game is over. So yes, you could like remove one card, summon you to get her, basically her ultimate. So the way this works on the like more turns, and we're around 7, with more turns, you keep trying to get Qiangliang back up the moment it goes away. If you have P0, if you have P1, it's a little bit better because it's gonna be one more duration. If you have P2, it's even better because you start with it and it's gonna flow better. But obviously P1 is enough. If you want to exaggerate, even P0 is fun, but with P0 you need to be doing this all the time and generating cards for characters that you need the most. In this case, it would be Liang Yue. Now we could generate Liang Yue, do the buff here inside the green, versatile, the hissing, getting this as well, million hisses. We are doing the debuff, just to make sure that, and then if you want to heal, would be the time when you heal if you need to. We can do the damage on Liang Yue and get closer to 5 Moxie. We can do a buff here as well if you want to, or to get, you could do this to just get to more Moxie and get the ult again, because we are 4 out of 5. We could do that, or we can just keep doing the hisses.
Never alone and rarely outnumbered.
You know, you could do the ultimate at this point, but the boss is Giga Omega dead. There's nothing that we can do about it. Sadly, the boss is ultra dead. But you know, you would ult here, obviously. You would ult, and then you would probably do this to get Qiangliang again if you're P0. Even though you're wasting the buff, it's still good because you're getting the talon, and you're getting a 5 Moxie for the ult later. Yeah, this is over. Otherwise, you would do all of that. Do the fill the tiger, do the slash. So, absolute cinema team that we cooked. Lumi and Mag probably did a lot, and I'm just testing it. So huge team that you should probably definitely put an eye on, like peep it a little bit. I wonder, like keep an eye on the team. It's gonna flow better if you have P1 Flutterpage, but especially P1 Liang Yue. Right before the 2.5 patch, you're gonna have all the time to get Liang Yue. Maybe P1 if you're a spender or if you're lucky. But the team was a good surprise. I wasn't sure it was gonna work, but it did. Poggers. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.